I can remember my childhood. I remember the days leading up to my education, where I was taken in and raised to fight the Holy War and become a man. The Soviets had occupied our country for a decade. What they had left was a country surrounded by chaos and instability, a nation in social and economic despair. I had no parents. The Soviets had taken their lives, I presume. I remember the day when my father never came back, and my mother was taken. I do not know what happened to them, though from what I witnessed with my very own eyes, I presume they had become casualties of the war that so many of my childhood friends experienced as well. I now know a few of those friends, which goes to show the instability of Afghanistan and what seems to be a never-ending spiral of violence and destruction. A Talib is a student of Islam, which is what I became when I was taken in by the only ones who could provide for me. Thus I was and continue to be with the Taliban, which is the plural of Talib. I was taken from my village just outside Kandahar and taken to the safety within the neighboring borders of Pakistan. Being raised a Taliban was not nearly as bad as one might think. We were looked out for, and orphans like myself had a real sense of family and belonging. We were fed well, clothed, educated, and sheltered, which otherwise simply would have been impossible to accomplish, alone being at the young age which many of us were, and the circumstances we were in. I cannot imagine where my life would be if I was not lucky enough to be picked off the street as an orphan. I can only envision myself being dead, which could have been for many different reasons. Shelled, shot, or starved. Who knows? The Taliban did not get their recognition and rise up to the political relevance that they are at today, or in the past 2 or 3 decades by committing the acts that they do presently. They formed as a movement whose goals were to restore peace, disarm the population, enforce Sharia law, and defend the integrity and Islamic character of Afghanistan. It sounds perfect, right? Their way to power came from giving the public a sense of protection, which of course was needed after the Soviets left and there was no sense of having a definite and stable government. An example of this was when Mohammed Omar, the Taliban leader, ordered militants to arrest and bring a warlord to justice after learning that he had kidnapped and raped 2 teenage girls. Similar feats had given the Taliban a good reputation, although today that sense of protection has faded for many, and fear has taken its place. Now here I am, Farhan Hamidi, a middle-aged man who's seen enough horrors to last a lifetime. I've been around this environment since I can remember. Fighting with and for the Taliban is what I was raised to do. Fight the Holy War, Farhan, in the spirit of jihad, is what I was told to do since a very young age, and is what I continue to do. I now no longer truly believe in the purpose of this war and this idea of a holy war. I recognize that I had been truly brainwashed by the Taliban in my childhood. However, though I do not truly understand why I am fighting against the Western world, I will continue to do it, not only for myself to stay alive and the attachment that I have with my Taliban brothers, but because this is what I must do in order for my country of Afghanistan to move forward and leave the cycle of war and violence that has surrounded us since I can remember.